Welcome back, all you Star Wars fans, and welcome back, all you Star Wars haters. So yeah, I on Friday posted my top 5 things I did not problems I had with The Last Jedi. Now I'm someone who likes The Last Jedi, but I recognize that there are problems in it and some serious problems with it. But if I'm going to do a top 5 things I disliked, I might as well do a top video of the things I liked as well. Now there's more than 5 things I liked about. I'm doing that later. More than 5 things I liked about The Last Jedi, so I had to branch it out into a larger video. I did have to stretch it to 10, not because I don't like more than 10 things or as 10 things about the movies, because as the overall movie, I like the movie. To think of 10 individual things was a little tricky, so a couple of them are branching out a little bit from each other. But still, these are my top 10 things I liked about The Last Jedi. So if you're going to be one of those people who's like, yo, you're just, panders, like, no, I like the movie. If you didn't like the movie, that is perfectly okay. I've given you the things I didn't like about the movie. But if you're going to get on my case like I'm a shill or something, please understand that I am doing this from my bedroom right now with no visual effects whatsoever, just me and a webcam. So you're just pandering to us. Like, look, you can think whatever you want. That's your opinion. But if you're going to be dumb like that, then I'm sorry if you're going to be dumb like that. Again, if you don't like it for legitimate reasons, I'm not going to harp on you. We can have a cool discussion about why you didn't like something and why I liked it. So that's fine. Anywho, without further ado, top 10 things I liked about The Last Jedi. Number 10, the end scene with Kylo Ren and Luke. Now, I will say the reason this is number 10 is I would have liked a better confrontation, admittedly, with them. I would have actually liked to see Luke legitimately be there and fight, obviously, like everyone else. But what that was, really, was a psychological confrontation. It wasn't a battle, not even a battle of wills. It was Luke getting in Kylo's head. And from the progression we've seen Kylo has now become a villain we love to hate. And because of that, it's really cool to see Luke get in Kylo's head and basically just tell him off. It's like, yeah, see you around, kid. I'm sorry, Ben. I bet you are. I will kill the Last Jedi. No, you won't. And then he gives him that smirk. And yeah, and he's just playing. And that whole just show. Now I've heard a lot of people say that whole just. It's like that was Mark Hamill's. Like, no, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, it was, but Mark Hamill is Luke. That's something Luke would have done. That little flicking the dust off was very much that all you got, kid? Come on. I'm your master. I'm Luke fucking Skywalker. Come on. That's all just designed to mess with Kylo. And you saw how much that was working. And I love the fact that while it wasn't what we wanted, I loved what we got. So while I would have liked the actual confrontation with them, like physical confrontation, I loved what we got. So that's my number 10. My number 9 actually might be a little bit of a surprise to some people. It's the throne room scene. The throne room scene is only my number 9. And that's not to say I didn't love it. I loved from the initial when Rey enters there to how it ends with them breaking the lightsaber. I love that entire scene. Now, one of the reasons it is number 9 is because when you really break it down, there is some cut and paste there from Jedi. Even I won't deny that. There is some very key correlations there with Jedi. It's like, oh, release the Overstates. You will not need them. Oh, he will not. You will not need them. And, pointing out, oh, I'm afraid the shields are very operational. Now watch your friends die. And now look here. It's like, so there's a lot of parallels there. I'm not going to deny that. Still, though, it was handled uniquely, and it was handled well, and was handled differently, too. You can't argue is a cut and paste. You can't say it's a cut and paste from Return of the Jedi. And the reason I say it is because while there's definitely elements of that scene there, and even some things ripped from those, like that throne room scene from Return of the Jedi, when you actually see where the actual scene goes, it does not go the same way as Return of the Jedi at all when you really break it down. Really break it down. What happens in Return of the Jedi? What happens in Return of the Jedi is Luke goes, he confronts the Emperor. Rey goes, she confronts Snoke. Sure, that's fine. Then, he's playing, she says, now look here, watch your friends die. That doesn't happen until Rey's tried to take on Snoke and failed miserably. So I was like, okay, now look here. And then in Jedi, he goes to strike the Emperor. Immediately she goes there. But then Vader goes and stops him. So now it's the Vader versus Luke confrontation and, the salvation of his father. Whereas with Rey, Kylo does nothing. Kylo does nothing. Absolutely. Not at all. So then you get into the, it's clear. What I really liked about it is that it's like, oh, have you sensed something, you foolish girl? I'm the one who did that. You weren't smart enough to sense it. And it's gonna actually get into my number 7 or my number 8, sorry. But it shows that Rey is, first off, for anyone who's calling Rey a Mary Sue, get over yourself. Mary Sue is, got the plot armor, makes no mistakes, anything like that, everything works out. She was completely played from the get. And she's like, what? And she thought Kylo would turn. She thought she could turn Kylo. That didn't happen. No, it did not. So I love that it really cements the fact that no, she is not. She has made some mistakes, and she's now paid the price for those mistakes. And then you get that whole battle. Snoke. Now, is it telegraphed in the scene that Snoke's going to die? Yes. But did actually anyone think he was legitimately going to die? Like, maybe he would sense the blade turning and all that stuff eventually? It's like, no, I don't think any of us actually thought he was going to die. So that was something that we didn't see coming. And then the whole Praetorian Guard versus them scene, that's a great scene. Then you get the aftermath scene with them where they're confronting each other. It's like, it's like, we need to save him. She thinks he's back, but no, he's not. It's like, no, I'm going with the dark side. We need to let the past go. I want you to join me. He's like, no, you're still holding on. It's like, yeah, because if you don't learn from your past, you're going to be doomed to repeat it, you dumbass. So, yeah, and then, the final confrontation between them, and, yeah, I thought it was just really well played out. Does it take some things from Jedi? Absolutely, but I think what they added there helps to make it its own scene. Going into my number 8 now is Rey's arc. A lot of it, and I've never gone with the idea that Rey was a Mary Sue from Force Awakens. She still made some mistakes. She still got owned a couple times. But this, I think, really cements the fact that Rey is not a Mary Sue. Because Rey is a character who has a lot of innate potential. The Force has chosen her to be the next representative in the light to counteract the darkness growing in Kylo. But she still has to learn. She still has to train. She still has to understand things. And she gets that from... She doesn't get why Luke has, left the light. It left the Force. So she's there trying to convince him. And she's both succeeding and failing. But then she's like... you went straight to the dark. He's like, you shouldn't go straight to the dark. Not saying the dark is... Dark is not also necessarily evil. The dark is just, it's the other half of the light. So... You need balance. Now, that's why a gray Jedi is sometimes even a more better representative of the Force than, say, the Jedi or the Sith. So Rey has to learn a lot of things and understand that you're not always going to make the right choice. And that's really, I think, cemented when Luke goes to find her after he has that thing on the Jedi Temple, the Force thing, because you see that look on his face, that he had a brief smile when he found Rey, and like a lot of people have said, I think that was him. I think he had decided to come back at that point. But then he sees that she's talking to Kylo, they're having a connection, and that he basically like, no. It was like, what? And then it's like, nope, you gained my trust finally, and you blew it. You blew it. And then she goes to confront him on that. And to be fair, yeah, he's got baggage too, but he fully admits what he did was wrong. He didn't go through with it either. It's like, I for a brief second I contemplated ending him right there. It passed in an instant. All his stuff was shame, and that was it. And yeah, when you bring it, yeah, he acknowledges his mistake and everything like that. It's like Rey seems to have a hard time acknowledging those mistakes a little bit, but she does acknowledge them. Like, she thought, it's like, no, I'm going to help you go to the light. It's like, yeah, no, that's not what's happening. I think what really cements it for me is the fact that this movie get my words straight here, fully shows us that Rey is not a Mary Sue. Rey is a more complex character because of that, because she makes mistakes, and there are consequences to those mistakes. She made the mistake of trusting Kylo and connecting to Kylo, That mistake cost them Luke Skywalker initially. Because can you? Here's a what if I might have done, or I could do later on. What if Rey had convinced Luke to come back? Like what if Luke had come back at that moment? What kind of action sequence would we have gotten then? So really, Rey, you're the reason we didn't get Luke schooling some fools with a lightsaber. You're the reason for that. So if anyone thinks Rey's a Mary Sue, I challenge you to say if she had not done that, we could have gotten Luke schooling some fools with a lightsaber. Pull out the green and just gone to town, man. Now that I say that out loud, I'm like, oh, Rey, you fucked up. But yes, Rey. I say that Rey's arc is my number 8 spot. My number 7 is the Rey and Kylo thing. Now, the reason this outweighs the Rey arc in general is because it's a combination of Rey and Kylo's arc. Which I will say this, Kylo is on the list also. When we see because they're two sides of the same coin at this point, and it's acknowledged now, we see how they interact with each other. We see that there is similarities between them. They're two people longing for something. But one's longing for a connection to her past, and one is longing to escape the past and be his own creation. And we see the duality in there, but we see that connection is there and that they, in some ways, need each other and almost want each other, not romantically necessarily, but on that connection level. But what really cements the relationship is the fact that one can't do it. Or they both can't do what the other wants. They both can't be what the other wants them to be. So, in the end, we see the progression of the relationship, and then we see the collapse of the relationship. And it's gonna come to a head in episode 9. And I've given my prediction in one video of what I would love to see. And it really doesn't have much to do with Kylo and Rey. It has to do with Kylo and someone else. You can check my spoiler alert, my what if the Force Ghost Anakin be in episode 9 video for that. Yeah, you can check my video for that. Because I would love to see that my belief of that happening come to light. But no, because of just the fact that, because of the true nature of their relationship, the duality of it versus what becomes of it, I have to put that at least at number 7. At number 6, I have basically the entire third act battle. Now, take out a few things like with the whole Rose saving Finn thing. I've complained about. Look, Kelly Marie Chan's a sweet girl, and for what the acting was, she did fine. It's the character that was the problem with Rose more than anything else. And I don't agree with anyone who attacks someone for disliking a movie so viciously that they have to shut down their Instagram and social media. That's terrible. This is not the freaking 1950s, okay? Grow the fuck up. Anyway, take that out of the equation. That's, in fact, when I really say that a lot, that is literally the only thing in that last act I don't like. Everything else, I'm fine with. Everything else is great. That speeder rush on Crate where you get the red soil kicking up from the salt, then the Millennium Falcon coming in and saving it. Like, oh, that ship blown out of the sky. It's like, man, they hate that ship. And then you get the actual oh god, what was it from the episode The New Hope scene where Han and Luke are at the gunners positions. That dun 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 that whole music playing in there and that rush, that is freaking phenomenal. And then of course Luke comes in at the end. That it comes in and confronts them, they blast them, and that's just it's so good. It's a great third act in my opinion. So the third act makes my 6th spot. Now we're in the top 5. Top 5 is actually is taking away from the third act is when Luke comes to save the day. When Luke just comes in, he has that beautiful dialogue with Leia, with Carrie Fisher, and with Carrie passing after the movie was made. Yeah, that struck home. That some of those lines is like, no one ever truly leaves. That is. Then he comes in and. That whole scene where he's just blasting him, he's just there. We're all initially like, okay, what the hell did he do? Because no one's really paying attention. I'm noticing his beard's young. He's looking younger, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, maybe he used a force ability or something to make him younger. Then he pulls out the blue lightsaber. I'm like, what? And then we find out that Luke is pulling off something I don't think any Jedi has ever really done, is projecting himself all the way across the galaxy as an image of himself. Like one of the most powerful displays of the Force a living individual has ever done. And yeah, and it's just like, what? The only way it could have been better is if maybe he had like thrown an AT-AT around a little bit, just from across the. That I think would have cemented it. That would have just done. So yeah, for me, Luke coming to save the day is the number 4. The number 4 spot or number 5. The number 4 spot goes to Kylo Ren. The entire evolution of Kylo Ren, because in The Force Awakens, we see the conflicting nature of him. We see what happened. We see that he's conflicted. Then he kills Han Solo, and that he's giving himself to the dark. But we still see that he is dealing with baggage from that. Like it is not brought him the closure he thought it would. So we're wondering where he's going with this. And I did a video a long while ago. A lot of people have. Is Kylo Ren irredeemable from killing Han Solo? Now, I would argue, yeah. But they do make it believable that maybe he could be turned. Maybe he could be brought back to the light. But ultimately, no. No. And what's awesome about that is it really makes him a likably hateable character. Or a hateably likable character, however you want to say it. Basically, a character you like to hate. You don't want to like Kylo anymore. You want to hate Kylo. But you like hating Kylo. You can't wait to see this little Vader wannabe get his comeuppance in 9. And to be fair, he got a bit of a comeuppance in 8 as well. He got a little comeuppance in The Last Jedi because when you ultimately think about it, he failed on all fronts in Episode 8. I mean, the only thing he succeeded on was killing Snoke. He failed on bringing Rey to his side. He failed on killing Luke, and he failed on getting the Rebels, and he failed on getting Leia. He failed on every front except becoming the Supreme Leader. So really, he's failed in that regard. But really what we want to see is this stupid ideology he had basically gets just shut down by someone. Be it Rey, be it Luke, be it Anakin, whoever it is. This dumb realization or dumb philosophy he seems to have about the way the Force is working, about the way he views the world, just gets shut down. And I like that he's now become that. He's become that character we want, dislike, and hate, but we like doing it. It's like he's one of those very much I don't agree with you, but I like watching you kind of guys. Like I don't agree with Hans Gruber's actions, but Hans Gruber is awesome to watch. We love Hans Gruber. I don't agree with Vader's actions, but we love Vader. So, and I'm not saying Vader is necessarily a character you hate, but you love hating him. In fact, I don't think most people hate Vader, but you get what I'm saying. A character that we love to hate. We enjoy watching this character because we want to see this character get their comeuppance. And that's what Kylo Ren is evolved into now. And I really like that. I dig that. So it's going to be cool to see how they deal with him in Episode 9. My number 3 is basically Luke's arc. Luke's arc in The Last Jedi is my number 3. Now, like a lot of people, I want to see Luke taking out a lightsaber and just going to town on a bunch of people, bunch of Force Order troopers or whatever, droids, things along those lines. First Order, Knights of Ren, hell, toe-to-toe with Snoke. I would have loved to see that, but what we got instead, I'll admit, it's not what I wanted, but I loved what we got. We got a man who was broke, who made a mistake, who made a mistake that now haunts him to his never-ending days. And, a lot of people said, that's not what Luke Skywalker would have done. It's like, because you know this because you wrote Luke Skywalker, because, in a fanfiction maybe, but you directed Luke Skywalker, you've read the novels that are no longer canon. So basically you're saying, that's not what Luke Skywalker would have done because it's not what you would have done, Luke Skywalker. I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, what do you expect from a guy who dealt with not just Vader, his father, who he managed to save, but the Emperor, and has dealt on, at least on a minor level, with Snoke, and seen evil arise, and can sense the evil in someone? What would you do with that decision? Would you make the decision to maybe snuff it out before it grows, or would you not? Ultimately, he did not. But unfortunately, I do like it too that Kylo woke up right as he had the lightsaber ignited too, which is like, whoops. So I like the fact that now he's a man who's broken, who's understands that maybe really when you break it down, this all stems from the fact that he lost confidence in himself as a teacher, as a person, that he made the mistake that now he has to live with those consequences, that he failed. He failed to help Kylo. He failed to help Ben. He failed to help basically save his students and all that. And that's what the conversation with Yoda had. It's like, we failed. It's like, the greatest teacher failure is. They had that great conversation. And it's Luke coming to terms with the fact that, you're going to learn, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. And then, we are what is to be surpassed, as the birth of all great masters. So Luke eventually realizes that, I can't be what she wants me to be. It's like, then just be what you are. Be Luke Skywalker. And I love seeing that journey of just loathing, and then come to terms with, okay, maybe I'll teach her, but I'm going to teach her the way I'm going to teach her. I did like that scene, that great scene between him and R2 too. It's like, R2. You hear that little spark of Luke Skywalker in there, and then it's like, there's nothing can you do, nothing can make me come back. And then, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my Obi. That was a cheap shot. I love that moment. That was a cheap moment. And then ultimately, thinking, all right, I'm going to come back, and then, nope, closing back up. You decided to betray me with Kylo. So, yeah, I was like, I'm closing back up. And then ultimately saying, no, I got to do something. I can't be here. I can't stay. I can't stay and do nothing. And then ultimately sacrificing himself, supposedly, to save the Resistance. So ultimately, I loved what they did with Luke. Second one, our number 2 spot goes just about that light speed through the Star Destroyer. You knew that had to be on the list. And frankly, it just... Look, I did not like what they did with Holdo. I was not a fan of that. That entire story arc was really not well handled. But they gave her... What did it fully redeem her? I don't know if it fully redeemed her, but it gave us probably one of the coolest moments of that year in cinema, because we briefly hear what about Han Solo talking about, like, jumping to light speed and like Dustin Crossboy. If we don't get the navigation coordinates right, we could zip through an asteroid belt, zip through the asteroid, fly into a star or something like that, and this trip would be over real quick, wouldn't it? So it's begged the question: what happens if you don't get light speed right, or what happens if you light speed through something? Well, we find out what that happens, and it's pretty effing awesome, because if you really watch, it doesn't just slice Snoke's ship in half. It obliterated all the Star Destroyers behind that ship. So that was just one of those moments where everyone in the audience, myself, everyone, you hear the collective, whoa. And Mark was sitting behind me too, next to me too. It's just like, whoa. So it's just one of those moments that it's the collective, whoa. So that's my number 2, pretty short one. But my number 1, now just to recap, my number 10 is the Luke and Kylo confrontation. My number 3 is my number 9 is the throne room. My number 8 is Rey's arc. My number 4, geez, I'm going down different lists. My number 7 is Rey and Kylo. My number 6 is the entire third act fight. My number 5 is Luke saves the day. My number 4 is the evolution of Kylo. My number 3 is Luke's arc, and my number 2 is the Lightspeed battle. So my number 1 best thing in The Last Jedi is the scene with Luke and Yoda. The scene with Luke and Yoda, to me, was probably one of the best moments in Star Wars to date. Not the best moment, but definitely ranks for me as probably one of the top 5 moments. Maybe top 10. Probably more like top 10. But still, it's by far the best scene in the movie. Because all this while, Luke is just so hell-bent on this ideology that the Jedi need to end. And everything like those. And then, we're sitting there, and then we see the little head pop, a little ghost head of Yoda pop up there, and it's like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Yoda. And I can understand why Yoda never appeared to him, because Luke had cut himself off from the Force, so it makes sense why he never appeared. And I've heard people say, like, why did it take you this long? Because he was cut off from the Force, God. So then we just get Luke being taught again by Yoda, being schooled by Yoda once again, just and Yoda showing up as a Force ghost, being one with the Force, boop, lightning, poof. And you see Yoda just like, Skywalker, miss you I have. Missed you have I. And they just get this great wisdom from Yoda once again. It's just like, oh, Luke. It's like, wisdom they held, yes. But nothing the girl Rey doesn't already know. Except maybe how to build a lightsaber. That might have been useful. So you just get this great moment, and then talking about failure and things along those lines. Like, I failed. I did like, and you still get Yoda just cracking some jokes too. Just like, it's like the ancient Jedi text. Oh, read them, did you? Well, is it page turners? They were not. And he just like, look, we are what is to be surpassed. That is the burden of all masters, and that was just a beautifully eloquent, especially from a guy who speaks broken English, eloquent line. Just written is really a kind of. It's really kind of a lesson in life, is that when you really think about it, in many ways, we are what is to be surpassed. The next generation is always going to hopefully surpass the former generation. When it comes to our children is our legacy, and they are hopefully going to surpass what we do. When you bring on a new employee, and you're, let's say, the older employee going out, hopefully they will surpass what you do. You always get actors come and go. You get new actors who surpass the old. You get new athletes who surpass it. We are what is to be surpassed. And I think that's also a great lesson in Star Wars in general, because when you really look at it, I mean, the student becomes the master. Oftentimes, the student just outgrows the teacher. And I think it was just beautifully and elegantly, from a little green Muppet with broken English, spelled out to us. And then you get that just beautiful shot of them looking at the burning tree. That was just fantastic. To me, and to top it all off, the music that was going on. You get that. Basically, you're getting the music where Yoda is at Dagobah lifting, I believe, the X-Wing. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And man, I just love that. Is my no arguments, bar none, my favorite scene and favorite moment, favorite thing out of The Last Jedi. So that is my top 10 things I liked about The Last Jedi. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do that at some point. Yeah, this finger thing's me now. I'm doing that. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Who would win will be tomorrow. What if and who would win and Death Battle prediction will be on Wednesday. Got the Dr. Fate, Dr. Strange fight. Looking forward to that. That looks like it's going to be good. Got Hotel Artemis on Tuesday. Got Incredibles 2 on Thursday. Did I say Tuesday or Thursday? I think I said Tuesday for Hotel Artemis. Thursday is Incredibles 2. Basically the usual stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you